The war in the Middle East is entering a decisive phase. In this moment, the strategic pieces are not only being moved on the battlefield, but also across the negotiating tables in Washington and Tel Aviv. In a shocking interview with the Times of Israel, United States President Donald Trump dismissed all speculation about a fracture between America and its closest ally. Trump stated that the timing for ending the military campaign in Iran is not a unilateral decision. It is a combination of American interests and the vision of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Although Trump has always emphasized the slogan "America First," in the Iran game he admitted that there is complete alignment between the two sides. Yet, behind that alignment is a very clear message of power. Israel's voice is respected, but the final command still rests in the hands of the President of the United States. Washington is not only supplying weapons, it is also supplying the clock that determines the pace of this war. White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt laid out an ambitious timeline. She said the goal is 4 to 6 weeks to bring one of the most complex military campaigns of the modern era to an end. The question is whether Israel would stop if the United States pulled back. Trump's answer, "I do not think that will be necessary," was not simply a prediction. It was a statement of confidence in the alliance's ability to control the direction of the battlefield. At the Pentagon, Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth gave the concept of victory its hardest possible definition. The phrase "unconditional surrender," a phrase that recalls the end of the Second World War, has once again entered the discussion. According to Hegseth, the United States is not seeking a half-measure peace deal or another nuclear agreement filled with loopholes like those of the past. Washington's goal is to strip Tehran completely of its ability to resist. Speaking on 60 Minutes, he said, "We will know when they no longer have the ability to fight. This is a war of attrition, not only in weapons but in willpower." The United States and Israel are setting terms that Iran will be forced to accept, whether or not its pride or ideology allows it. The message is unmistakable. America is not negotiating with Iran. America is presenting the conditions under which Iran will be allowed to survive. Amid the roar of missiles and the ultimatums coming from Washington, a historic event has taken place in Tehran. The third supreme leader has emerged. The decision by the Assembly of Experts to appoint Mojtaba Khamenei, the son of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, was a surprising move, but also one that may be critical to the survival of the regime. At the age of 56, Mojtaba Khamenei is no longer merely a shadow standing behind his father. He is widely seen as a man with influence over intelligence networks, military structures, and most importantly, a deeply rooted relationship with the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, or the IRGC. His succession is not simply a matter of dynastic inheritance, something his father himself once feared because it could appear to betray the spirit of the 1979 revolution. It is also a practical choice made by Iran's elite at a moment when the country is facing the risk of collapse. International experts, including Professor Vali Nasr of Johns Hopkins University, have argued that Mojtaba is the only figure capable of consolidating power immediately. At the same time, another line of thought among analysts in Tehran suggests that Mojtaba's relative youth and pragmatism could turn him into an Iranian version of Mohammed bin Salman. Will he launch bold social reforms and seek to lower tensions with the West in order to rescue the economy? Or will he continue his father's hardline legacy in order to preserve support from conservative factions and the IRGC? In response to this transition, the wider Islamic world and Iran's proxy forces quickly expressed loyalty. From Hezbollah in Lebanon to the Houthi movement in Yemen, all described Mojtaba as the best successor to the best predecessor. This is a signal that Iran's axis of resistance will not easily collapse under American military pressure. In Washington, Trump has remained skeptical. His warning that the new leader will not survive without American acceptance is a direct threat to the legitimacy of the new supreme leader. Trump even mocked the losses within Iran's leadership ranks after what he described as precise strikes by the United States and Israel. He said that before long, we will not even know who is who anymore. The military campaign by the United States and Israel may continue for several more weeks, but its consequences could stretch across decades. Under Mojtaba Khamenei, Iran now stands at a crossroads. One path leads to total collapse under the terms of unconditional surrender demanded by Donald Trump. The other leads to reform and adaptation, an attempt to survive within a new regional order shaped by American military power. The Middle East chessboard is reaching its final moves. Mojtaba's rise to power may be Tehran's last attempt to protect its king. Meanwhile, Washington and Tel Aviv are positioning their forces for checkmate. The world is holding its breath, waiting to see whether the pragmatism of Iran's new leader can meet the decisiveness of the American president at some point of convergence, or whether the Middle East will continue to burn through a long and painful reconstruction.